Hello, everyone, and welcome to our final episode of Rain or Shine Sports Pro Football Weekly. This is a special Seahawk edition. We're going to kind of highlight the season for Seattle, go through the games throughout the year, not with a lot of information, but just kind of how the year went, and just kind of figure out where the Seahawks are now. We're from the Pacific Northwest, so Seattle is our team of our area. So most of the people around us are Seahawk fans. I'm your host, Tom Satera, along with Robbie Satera. And we're going to have a good night tonight talking about the Hawks. Exciting game last weekend with the 49ers to set up the number one NFC seed and home field advantage all the way through the playoffs, and a week one bye in the playoffs. So good stuff so far for Seattle. What we're going to do to start with is we're going to take a look at last week's schedule. We always pick the games and we have this contest going. I'm not really getting into that. I was 6 games ahead, so I know there's no way we had 6 difference anyway. So this just means that last year Robbie beat me and this year I beat him by a few. So anyway, let's take a look at last week and how the regular season ended and some of the implications that happened. It was Tampa Bay over Carolina 16-14, which set up a big game for Sunday. Yeah, the Carolina game. Anyway, or not Carolina. Who is it that played? Atlanta winning sent Panthers to the playoffs. So anyway, Tampa Bay over Carolina 16-14. It was Seattle over 49ers 13-3. Falcons over the Saints 19-17. The Browns over the Bengals 20-18. Vikings over the Packers 16-3. The Giants beat the Cowboys 34-17. Jaguars over the Titans 41-7. Texans over the Colts 38-30. Bills over the Jets 35-8. Lions over the Bears 19-16. Broncos 19-3 over the Chargers. Raiders over the Chiefs 14-12. It was the Rams over the Cardinals 37-20. Patriots over the Dolphins 38-10. Commanders over the Eagles 24-17. And the Steelers take the final seed in the AFC with a 26-24 victory on a missed field goal, which likely cost John Harbaugh his coaching job at Baltimore. So the playoff picture is set. We'll get into that soon. What I'm going to do now is we're going to take a look at the Seahawks season. So started a little rocky in the beginning. First week, San Francisco beat Seattle 17-13. What I remember about this game is Seattle did not play very well. Had high hopes going into things, but started the season with a 4-point loss, 17-13. It was in Seattle, and it always hurts to win at home, but that's how we started the year. Game 2, we went to Pittsburgh and faced Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, 31-17 win. Try to remember this first game, the score was a 4-point win. So in the losses that we have, you're going to see a pretty impressive line there. So, all right, New Orleans came to Seattle. Seattle won 44-13. Rashid Shaheed was playing against us at that point. Game 4 saw the Seahawks beat the Cardinals 23-20. There were some really close games in the beginning of this season that Seahawks were fortunate enough to win. Here's one they were unfortunate enough to lose. Tampa Bay 38-35 over Seattle. Again, another home game, a home loss. And remember, last year the Seahawks were 7-1 on the road, and now we've got 2 home losses already here in Seattle. So lose by 4 the first game, lost by 3 in this one against Tampa Bay. Game 6, Seattle over Jacksonville, 20-12. It seemed to be a very uneventful game. Seattle just kind of held on and just won it. Not a lot of flash, wasn't a lot of offense. And against the Texans, they played pretty well. Remember now, the Texans are a playoff team. Jacksonville's a playoff team. The 49ers are a playoff team. Tampa Bay was right down to the last week. Seattle over Houston in Game 6, 27-19. It was Seattle over the Commanders, 38-14. That might have been the last game that Jaden Daniels played. Remember, he got hurt at the end of that game. The Seahawks knocked him out there, so not literally out. All right, then Arizona comes to Seattle. Seattle wins 44-22. And then here, I believe this is the turning point of our season. Seahawks at the Rams, a horrible game for Seattle. Sam Darnold had 4 interceptions, or was it 5? I don't even remember. I think he had 5 turnovers, but 4 interceptions. And we still come down to the end, and it was like a 61-yard field goal or something. If Myers could have hit it, we could have pulled this out because it was a 2-point game. So this is all the losses that Seattle came up with all year for a total of 9 points that they lost by on all of the 3 games on the season. So to go 14-3 and losing by a total of 9 points, that's pretty good. And those, yes, Tampa Bay, they started 7-1 or something like that, or 6-2. And then really fell off when they got healthy. It seemed like they couldn't win after that. So the Rams beat them 21-19, and Seattle was kind of floating around, kind of in third place with San Francisco and LA, kind of sharing the spotlight at that point. This game scared me. Seattle just could not put Tennessee away. And I think it came down to the end to hold on to win, I believe, on this one as well. This was week 11, 30-24, the Seahawks win. And again, I think that Rams game, not winning that game, and with Darnold had such a horrible game against him. He had a bad game last year as a Viking against the Rams as well. He had 7 interceptions, I think he had 3 last year and then 4 this year against him. Then we played the Vikings, 26-0. Defense is starting to click on all of this stuff now. They played really well this year. 37-9 over Atlanta. Atlanta was right down into it. They won their last 5 games. Indianapolis at Seattle. This was a scary one, actually. This Rivers kind of held them in place. Didn't throw for many yards, but again, the offense just wasn't scoring a lot of points. So 18-16. That was on December 14th, so their 14th game. And then the Rams. This was a big one. They were ahead of Seattle the whole game, basically, and I think they were up by 16 points in the fourth quarter. And Seattle was 0-73 or something like that when they were down by that many. And the Rams were like 1-150 or something like that when they're in the lead. And Raheed Shaheed had a huge punt return that started the comeback for Seattle. And again, the defense just really drove it and helped to pick up this win. Then Carolina, 27-10. They win that 16th game. And then the San Francisco 49ers at San Francisco. And this is a game that, man, it could have been a whole lot more than that because the Seattle's offense, again, just couldn't. To start your opening drive and you're running the ball down the field and, yeah, you've thrown a couple of passes, but your running game is just crushing it. And I just question they get down to 1st and goal from the 1 and call a pass play right from the start. Darnold gets sacked for a 13-yard loss, gets back to 4th and goal from the 3. At that point, I'm thinking, kick the field goal. This is San Francisco. You're playing every point. It's going to count. And they ended up going for it and got nothing. And so for me, I'm like, oh, no, you can't do this. You can't dominate things. And this was a closer game than I had hoped for. The way they were playing defense really showed up big in this thing. But Seattle ended up pulling it out, getting the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And in the number 1 seed, which is huge. And so they get the week off this week. This kind of looking some stats along the way, some of the things that the Seahawks did really well. take a look at their scoring offense. They are averaged 28.4 points per game, which was tied for second in the NFL. Yards per game, 351.4. That was seventh. Kickoff return yardage, 28 yards per return. That's third. Longest kick return, 100 yards. They were the only team that did that. They're first. Average return for punt returns, 15.4 yards. That was third. Longest punt return was 95 yards. That was the longest of the year. He had 2 touchdowns on punt returns. That was tied for first. A couple other teams had that as well. Field goals made, they had 41 field goals made. Jason Myers, second place, second in the NFL, and 100% extra points. That was tied for first with a few other teams. Defensively, they only gave up 17.2 points a game, which was first. Passing yards per game, 193.9. That was 10th. Rushing yards, 91.9. That was third. Yards per rush was 3.7. They were first in that. They had 9 rushing touchdowns scored against them. That was first in the NFL. 47 sacks. That was 8th in the NFL. The passer rating against was 77.9, which was 4th best. And their third down percentage against was 32.1%, which was also first in the NFL. Looking at some individuals now, Sam Darnold, 67.7 completions. Kenneth Walker had 1,027 yards rushing. Zach Charbonnet, 730 yards and 12 TDs. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 119 catches, 1,793 yards, 10 touchdowns. A.J. Barner had a big breakout year for him, the tight end position, 52 catches, 519 yards, 6 touchdowns. And he's the one that runs the tush push when they get into that formation. He'll get up there behind the center, and he was a quarterback, I guess, in high school. So defensively, Ernest Jones. Gosh, I like Ernest Jones, man. 126 tackles, 5 interceptions, led the team in interceptions. Kobe Bryant had 4 interceptions. He was hurt to the end of the year. I think he's going to be back though now. Was he back already for the San Francisco game?
No.
I don't think he played. No. In sacks, so Uchenna Nwosu and Big Cat Williams and Byron Murphy all had 7, and DeMarcus Lawrence had 6 sacks on the year. Pro Bowl. Hopefully these guys will not be participating in the Pro Bowl. It's the week before the Super Bowl, and so the Super Bowl participants won't be at the Pro Bowl, which is what I'm hoping for. Those people are Jackson Smith and Jigba, Devin Weatherspoon, Rashid Shaheed, Sam Darnold, DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams. So as we go there, the rest of the season is going to be to be continued. So let's just hope that they can make things happen to get back to the big game again.
To branch off of what you were saying, though.
Yes.
While you were doing that, I did a little bit of research.
Okay.
And you know me, I'm a big fantasy guy.
Yes.
I wrote down where our key players landed in terms of how they scored.
Okay.
So Sam Darnold finished the season with 249.42 fantasy points. He was 13th among quarterbacks.
Okay.
Kenneth Walker finished with 191.9, and he ended 22nd. Zach Charbonnet finished with 181.4. He was 24th.
Okay.
JSN finished with 359.9, and he was second. Can you guess who beat him out?
Oh, it's got to be Nakoa.
Yep, Puka Nacua beat him out.
Yep.
I think he had like 5 more points or something like that.
Really?
Either way, very close.
Yeah.
Rashid Shaheed, 39th, but had 156. Barner ended at 14th with 149. We had the number 1 scoring defense in fantasy football and the number 1 kicker. So
Oh,
Jason Myers finished 1, defense finished 2. Defense had 232. Jason Myers had 195.
wow.
So
Yeah. Good
some high
year.
scores.
Yeah. So the one thing about it now, this is the fourth time that Seattle has had the number one seed after the regular season. And all three of the other times that they have had this number one seed, they went to the Super Bowl. So I don't want to break the trend, that's for sure. Um, this year, they went 8-1 on the road. So at that San Francisco game, I'm thinking, you know what? Even if you lose this game, they're still a great road team. That defense travels, man. And so I wasn't, even if had they lost, I would have been disappointed because you got an extra game to play. You know, the 12s here do something to the team for sure. But anyway, I just 15-2 over 2 years. The only team that was better was I think the Patriots one time went 16-0 in the 2 years. So that's pretty good company when you've done that. So this is kind of the, what do they call them? They call them something now. I can't remember what they called that defense. I seen a nickname kind of for them now. I can't remember what it was though, but
For us?
yeah, there was something I'm like, whoa, where did that name come from? So maybe if you kind of look real quick there. All right, so let's take a look at the scheduled games for this week in the playoffs. So the way this happens now, the number one seed, like Denver in the AFC, Seattle in the NFC,
The dark side?
the dark side, yeah. I just saw that like today. There was some
They
article that
adopted the
came out.
dark side as their new nickname, a mindset-driven identity symbolizing fear and dominance, taking over from the legendary Legion of Boom era with players like DeMarcus Lawrence embracing the term in late 25 and fans taking it on.
The dark side. I like it. I like it. All right. Anyway, so the seeding, they'll reseed teams. So for instance, the number one seed is going to get to play the lowest seed that's left after this first round. So the Rams are the number 5 seed. The Panthers are the number 4 seed. So, you know, there's always been that question. The Panthers have a losing record. They're 8-9, you know, but they have a home game. They're the
Wouldn't
number
say they're
4
the
seed.
worst team either. Like,
What's that?
honestly, and I'm not saying it's common sense. If they're saying like the worst team is the lowest seed, any of these teams can easily.
I know it. That's what I'm saying with this year especially. But it's always been kind of said, you know, should they change things a little bit on the seeding for the playoffs just because you won the division? You're 8-9. You know, this is what happened though with Marshawn Lynch against the New Orleans Saints that year. Beastquake. Seattle was 8-9. They had that last playoff spot, and they ended up beating the Saints in the wild card game, but ended up losing in the divisional round. But anyway, it's always been a thing of why should they get the home game though? Why don't the best records still get those home games? So winning your division means something, they say, so that's what happens. But anyway, after the first round, the lower seed will play that number one seed, and then the other two teams will play as well. So for the NFC, the Rams are the 5, the Panthers are 4. Well, looking at it this way, the Bears are 2, the Eagles are 3, Panthers are 4, Rams are 5, 49ers are 6, and the Packers are 7. So Packers beating
out of
the Bears.
Out of those teams, which one would you rather play?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Packers are playing the Bears. They're the number 7. You know, they haven't been all that healthy. Haven't seen them. But that's the thing. You know, the Rams, Panthers, that's probably going to be the Rams. The thing with the Eagles, though, because if the Eagles win, if the Bears would win as well, no, because we'd play we'd play either the Rams or the Panthers at that point if the Bears would win. So we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, all of these teams have their ups and downs, but everybody has their little bit of weaknesses. That's the thing. I mean, with the 49ers, yeah, they've been hurt so bad all year long. The Eagles just defensively, they've been solid, but offensively, they just haven't clicked. They got the experience though. I mean, they're Super Bowl champs. I mean, they're trying to repeat. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I don't know if there's a clear path. I don't know that you want to play the 49ers again right away. I don't know. You really don't want to play the Rams. So the only other one is the
Our best
Packers. So
Packers and I would say honestly, the Packers or the Panthers are probably our best bet.
right. But I don't know. I think at this point, and now this being at home, I think it's a totally different thing. And I think the team's going to be Darnold has looked a lot better. That first Rams game was bad. I mean, it really was. And the game after it, he didn't play all that well, still forcing things a little bit. But he's done so much better these last 3 or 4 games, and he didn't put the ball in jeopardy. Sometimes he's taken that sack that I hate to see that. Just get rid of the dang ball. But at the same time, he lives to go to another down. So anyway, so Saturday, 1:30, we have the LA Rams against the Carolina Panthers. The Rams are 12-5. The Carolina Panthers are 8-9. The Rams are favored by 10.5. Again, this is at Carolina. Over under is 46.5. The Panthers beat the Rams earlier this year, right? I believe they did.
I don't remember.
I don't see the Rams losing this, though. I really don't. I think they're another team that is conditioned for this. They were in the playoffs last year. They had a real opportunity to beat Philadelphia if that game was a little bit longer last year. They had the momentum going in. So I'm going to choose the Rams in this one.
Yep, I got the Rams as well.
Rams as well. All right, next game on the slate is Saturday also. This is a 5 o'clock game. Number 7 Packers 9-7-1 against the number 2 Bears 11-6. Green Bay is favored by a point. So all of these favorites are underdogs. That's the thing. Every one of these, I believe. Let me take a look at the Philadelphia one. Nope, Philadelphia is the favorite in that one. I was thinking they were all favorite or underdogs. That the home team was the underdog. Anyway, Packers and the Bears. Green Bay favored by 1. Over under is 45.5. Who you taking in this one?
I'm gonna take Chicago.
I am too. I'm picking Chicago in this one too. Just the consistency of everything. Jordan Love will be back, but I give the Bears a little bit of a advantage in this one. The thing with them, their defense. They played San Francisco 2 weeks ago, and both teams running up and down on the field, and defense is going to have to be a little bit better. But Packers' defense hasn't played all that great either. Losing Micah Parsons has hurt them pretty bad. So, all right, on to the AFC now on the first Sunday game, 10 a.m. here on the West Coast anyway. It's the Buffalo Bills, 12-5, up against they're the number 6 seed against the Jaguars, who are 13-4. They're the number 3 seed. Buffalo's favored by 1. Over under is 52. Boy, if Buffalo can't now, then when? That's the thing. You have no Mahomes. You have no.
This is your best chance.
Yeah. You have Lamar Jackson. This is the chance. The Jaguars have been playing so good, though, and Trevor Lawrence has been tearing it up. Man, I don't know if Buffalo has the offensive weapons to do it. I really don't. I think Jacksonville's going to take them.
We've seen Buffalo play for nothing. We've seen them play for something. They played completely they play so much better when something's on the line.
Sure.
This is a real game.
No,
I'm going to say I'm taking Buffalo here.
Okay.
Mainly because it's going to be all on Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, James Cook, are they going to be the main 2 people here? So,
all right. Next is the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think this is maybe the match that maybe that looks to be fairly even as for the two teams going against each other. The Niners, you've seen what they can do. Their defense bent but didn't break against Seattle, and held them to 13 points. As much as all the talk is out on social media, oh, he couldn't even score more than 13 points against the team that everybody's hurt and this and that. Well, they had three. So, um, 49ers and Eagles. Who you got in this one? Philadelphia is favored
by.
That's
a shot at you, Rob. By the way, that's
yeah.
a shot at you. Apparently, I didn't say it, but that's a shot that he just took at you.
Hey, so if you remember, we had our little show last week. We had the college games and we had the pro games as well. I'm not sure if we're going to get a chance to get our first round group together for these games this weekend. So we might have to just get everybody's picks for the week, and then next week we'll do our first playoff edition of our 4, 5, or 6 of us that are possibly doing this. So anyway, 49ers and Eagles. Who are you going to take here?
Niners have made it to the Super Bowl recently too. But I'm still going to give it to Philly.
Can Philly turn it on and turn it? I mean, that's the thing. I just don't know if offensively if they can do it. I know San Francisco, but really offensively they didn't do much last week either against Seattle.
I'm still taking Philly no matter what. So
this is a tough one anyway. It really is. I think maybe the Niners will win. I'm going to take the Niners in this one. All right. Next one. Number 7, Chargers, 11-6 against the number 2, Patriots, 14-3. This is the 5 o'clock game on Sunday. New England's favored by 3.5. Over-under is 46. These are two really up-and-coming teams, too. The Chargers are still pretty young. This was his second year just in there, wasn't it? I think it is.
Yeah.
So, I can see, nobody has the experience. Drake May's been playing fantastic. I think Vrabel's done a great job of getting that team going. They look as impressive as anybody else. 14-3 record for them throughout the year as well.
The funny thing is, I went and did some research to last year. Patriots ended the season on my 32 number team
last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they had 5 wins though, didn't they? I think they had 5 wins last year.
I don't know, but either way, I went and watched and looked at everything, and it said the last one I had the Patriots at 32.
Yeah. I think the Patriots will win it, though. I really do. I think they've got that. They're at home, and Chargers have been up and down. They've been one of those teams that when they're good, they're really good. But I think I'm going to take the Patriots in that one.
Yep, I got the Patriots too.
All right, and the last game on Monday night, actually, 5:15 start. That one's on ABC. We got the Texans, the number 5 seed, against the Steelers, the number 4 seed. Texans 12-5, Steelers 10-7. Houston's favored by 3. Over under is 39.5. What are we thinking here? Aaron Rodgers going to be able to get a playoff win
against the best defense in the entire NFL?
You think that pass rush is going to get to him?
Oh, yeah.
DK Metcalf's back, though.
That doesn't change anything. Does not change anything.
Yeah.
Their best bet is their run game, to be honest. They need to get that going, but still, even then, it's a... I wouldn't.
It's a tough proposition for sure. Houston's going to be a tough out for anybody. Both leagues are there's not a clear favorite anywhere here. Mm-hmm. So you got the Texans?
Yeah.
I figure they'll pull this one out too. So, and again, they're favored by 3. That's the Monday game. So, all right. Well, that sets up the playoffs for this coming weekend. We went through and kind of showed you the Seahawks season for the year. Really happy with what they've done. Sam Darnold, do you think Sam's going to be okay through the playoffs?
We haven't seen Sam in the playoffs, so we don't know.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. That's the big talk from everybody is, oh yeah, he's gonna. And there's just a lot of people out that are saying, hey, once he shows it there, then we'll believe it. But right now, a lot of people are not counting on him doing things. But I really liked. Again, this is going back to that Rams game that they lost. The defensive Ernest Jones actually was at the podium afterwards talking about saying, hey, we love Sam. He's our quarterback. We're standing behind him. He's who we're counting on to do this. And other players echoed the same thing. So it's cool to have that where it's not something that they're pointing fingers. It's like, hey, we're working together. And he has. There's a lot of people will say, well, yeah, he hasn't won the games for him. Well, that's true. I mean, Russell Wilson, how did the Seahawks win in the past? It wasn't Russell Wilson that took them to victory. Yes, he could scramble and make a play or two along the way to save things. But without that defense, without the LOB, Seattle wouldn't have been where they were at all anyway. So that's the part of it. And even the first time they were in the playoffs there, when they had Michael Bennett and all those guys, Cliff Averill and all those guys, the linebackers they had, KJ Wright, Bobby Wagner, and that, some of the other players that have been there, they had to have that defense, and that's what it's going to take. There's been a lot of other teams that won Super Bowls that didn't have brilliant quarterbacks that carried teams. So the first one that always comes to mind is Trent Dilfer. I mean, he's the guy that's just going to manage the game, and that's fine. You just keep them out of trouble and run the football like they did last weekend against San Francisco, and I think they'll do okay. So. But anyway, so we'll see what happens. We'll know more on matchups for next week for Seattle anyway, after this weekend. So hopefully everybody can remain healthy again. Don't need any injuries at this point. Yes, go ahead.
Do have something that I forgot to brush up on earlier before we make predictions.
Okay.
That's how the week went. I lost 2 more. You won the season by 8.
Okay.
So, and then I did a little research from last year. Wanted to see how much I won by. It wasn't very much, but this is what we hit and missed on.
Okay.
So.
All right. I didn't know you had that slide.
We ended up.
Okay.
Overall, that's what we have. You brought it up to be 4. So the 2 seasons we did this, you are now up 4 total.
Okay. you extended them all the way. Why did we have more the previous year? Or isn't there? No, I guess there's not.
No, it's the same amount.
Okay, yeah. No, I guess it's not.
Yep, same amount. So
80. Yeah, okay. Yep. Well, good. Anyway, it doesn't matter year to year because now next year, if you beat me by 3 games, you're still the champion for 2026. That wouldn't matter.
I want the overall thing. I want to win by 5.
I see. All right. Well, from all of us here at Rain or Shine Sports, look for us to probably by next weekend, we'll have a playoff edition, full-fledged 4, 5, or 6 people. 4 or 5, probably. Bantering back and forth, and we'll have some matchups maybe that some of us can be pitted against each other, talking about our teams, kind of like the last week with Rob and I. So that was a good one, and Seattle held on to it. I told them they ain't playing the Bears this weekend. They're not playing the Bears defense, and sure enough, well, it was kind of like playing the Bears, but kind of like the Bears from 1986 is what it was more like than the 2025. So, all right, from all of us here, have a great weekend. We can say go Hawks, but they don't play, so let's sit back.
They can still lose the bye week somehow. They can still do it. I've seen teams do it. So
Well, I would hope not. I think Mike McDonald's got them in a pretty good place right now, and I think they're pretty hungry for what they've got, and they're still trying to prove the world round. However, in Vegas, they are favored to win the Super Bowl, so that's kind of cool to see. But it does no good until it
gotta
happens.
make it
So,
there.
yep, absolutely. So next week we'll know more about that. So again, have a great weekend. Enjoy the football games. College games start tomorrow. Miami and oh my gosh, Indiana, and then Ole Miss and who's Ole Miss playing again?
No idea. I
Oh
don't
come
really.
on!
I don't keep up with that stuff.
Holy cow! Can't believe I don't remember who it is that they're playing.
Is it the playoffs?
Oregon, no, Oregon is playing Indiana.
Miami,
Ole
Ole
Miss
Miss,
is
Oregon,
playing.
Indiana.
Yes, yes. So, and that game is on Friday. Thursday is Miami, and Friday is the Oregon game, I believe. So both at 4:30. So, all right. Again, we will. Hopefully, everybody enjoys this, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night.